Hi, good evening, everybody. I was just commenting. I was just talking to DeWitt. There's right up there. If you look right up there, there's a little candle maker. DeWitt and I sat in this room last year and made this candle, which I still have up on the shelf in my kitchen. I'm so proud of what we made right here in HSN Gets Crafty. My name is Ty Mayberry. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. Maybe this is your first time tuning in to an HSN Gets Crafty. What's great about this is we can just take a little more time. You can still shop just like you always do. The QR code will be right there on your screen. But this way too, however you're watching, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, you can send in a question. Tonight we will be spending the full hour with Angie Hunt from LDRS. So if you have a question, send in a question. DeWitt will be looking through those. I will as well. Angie will look, so we can just take some time, do some projects together. A couple other things I want to mention to you tonight with LDRS, just with LDRS and just tonight. No matter how many items from LDRS you put in your shopping bag and your shopping cart at hsn.com, you will only pay $7.50 shipping. So once you find a couple of things you like and you've already reached that $7.50 shipping, you can ignore the shipping costs and just keep clicking, putting it there in your basket as well. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. There's you see your QR code right up there. Will be nice and easy for you to find. DeWitt is sharply dressed as always. Where's my friend DeWitt? There he is. Everybody wants to say hi to DeWitt. I'm going to bring up the iPad here so I can take a look at your comments, and DeWitt will be feeding some of those to me again all hour long with Angie Hunt from LDRS. You saw her just recently on our big crafting day a week ago, which was a huge success here at HSN. So we thank all of you for joining us. It's one of the most fun days that we have here at HSN. We all mark it on our calendar. The big crafting day, as you know, the energy here is really fun. So thank you guys for joining us here. Before we get started, before we bring Angie in, I'm going to toss it over to DeWitt. DeWitt's going to go through his Facebook picks. We love this. Everybody looks forward to what your Facebook picks are. DeWitt, are you ready to let us know who you picked here?
Absolutely. Let's do it. All right, so the first one up, because I am a sucker for a cat pick, I can't get away. This is from Elizabeth Walker. Howler likes the Stamps by Me Flora and Fauna card kit that arrived today. I mean, I think Howler likes the box. I just think that's a reality there. It's fine. We love it, but fantastic. Thanks for the pick, guys. So, next up, we have Chris DeLeon Lowler, my apologies. Hi, friends. Sharing a fun card today on the heels of International Women's Day nonetheless. I've used Stamps of Life 5x7 window card, front stamp, and die set. 897307. We love when you give us the item numbers, guys. Exclusively available on HSN. You can make inspiring cards with this set. Check it out. I'm a sucker for some bright colors. This was fantastic. Really love the look of this. Great job, Chris. Next up, I have Lori Visser. And they made a Fiesta doilies. I always want to say dolly. I like that. Very cute. Different sentiments in there, right?
Yeah, just the intricate kind of paper cutting. I just love that design.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. And then last up for today, we have Nikki James, who made an Easter card that I don't know. It speaks to me. There is so much happening there. And Nikki's really good at using her scraps. So she used all scraps from her crafting closet to make this fantastic card. Great job crafting, cuties. I appreciate all of you. Fantastic. Keep posting. Keep it up.
So good. I'm looking at shout outs here already. I want to shout out, say hello. Linnea, is it? Am I saying that right? That's beautiful. Linnea, hello. Gayla is here from Lumberton, North Carolina. Thank you, Gayla, for joining us. Carla is here. Carla already said hashtag giveaway already. Sherry is here. Patty, thank you so much. Julie from Arkansas, hello. Thanks for joining us, guys. Kathy, Carletta is here. Jessica, hello, Jessica. Jonathan is here, writing from Williamstown, Massachusetts. MA's Massachusetts, right? Yeah,
yep.
He is, man.
Yep.
Okay, just making sure I got that right. Okay, Jonathan is here, and Connie is here. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. But here we are. I'm taking a look. If you have any questions, jump in right here. But let's get to our special guest. I was just live on air with her last week. So lovely. I know how much you guys love her stamps and her dies, and we're going to take some time and do some projects for you. Angie Hunt from LDRS is joining us here today. Angie, are you there? It's so good to see you.
Hey, I am so happy to be here with you guys tonight.
That's great.
Yeah,
So
we're ready to go.
Yeah, I think we have we're going to go through kind of three different items. We're going to use them together in concert, but we're going to take our time. Let's start off, first of all, Butterfly and Buds stamp and die set with the slider dies as well. I just want to show those real quickly. So the matching kind of stamp and dies that are matching back, but then with those great kind of slider cards, those pop cards, the slider dies as well. This is your set. Again, we will have the QR code and item number right there on the screen for you, but Angie's going to walk us through and show us how to use some of these.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly think this is probably one of the most fun sets that we've done in a while because it's interactive. We haven't done we haven't done a lot of interactive lately. We used to at one time, but we haven't in a while. So it was super fun to put this together. So I'm gonna be making one of these for you guys tonight. Alan, why don't we go? So I'm going to give you a little tidbit here. I locked my back up today.
No.
So I might be, every so often you might see me or hear me wince. So, and I do have my my husband here who's going to be helping me. So if you're wondering who I'm instructing and ordering around, it's going to be him. So Alan, if you will go overhead, we'll get started with stuff. Okay, there we go. Huh?
That good?
Yeah, that looks good, I think, for now. So I'm going to show you guys everything that is in this kit, and I do want you to understand mine is well loved because I've already been stamping and crafting. But in the butterflies and buds, you actually get the scallop slider dies in it. This mechanism, and it's only 3 dies for the mechanism, which is amazing. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to put together because you're just going to love it. And then you're going to get the butterflies and buds stamps and the dies. And then we also give you an instruction sheet here, which, to be honest with you, is only one side because it's that easy to put this together. And then we give you some samples on the back. But again, there's that QR code that's going to take you to some crafting videos to step you guys through everything. So a couple things I want to mention about this. Like I said, we've got 3 dies here. This is my... Oops, sorry about the popping. This is my set, and it only takes these 3 dies to get you going. All right, so here's the 3 dies that we're going to work with. And I'm going to talk to you about the stamps when we get to that. That's just going to take a moment. So let's see. So from these 3 dies, I've already done some die cutting to show you. Alan, will you go ahead and zoom in a little bit here? There we go. So these are the 3 dies. So the first die, I'm not going to run these through the die cutting machine because, like I said, my back is not working. So it's hard for me to do my die cutting right now. But we've got this one die here is going to cut this piece right here. This is like the top part. This is the movable part of your mechanism. Okay. It does all of your cutting. It gives you that beautiful large scallop on the outside. And it actually gives, I think, there you go. We can see that on camera. See how it gives you those score lines? All the work is done. We're just going to make 3 folds. This particular die right here is going to give you this piece. This is your pull tab. And again, we have a score line there that's going to indicate, it just kind of gives us a location or a boundary. And then the last die is the little square here. And that's really all that we need. So I'm going to show you how, again, this goes together. Let's move these out of the way. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I've taken my stamps and I just took a piece of paper and I went ahead, just did a little bit of the work ahead. Now, with these stamps, remember I said I was going to explain the stamps to you. So in these stamps, if you notice, it says 2 stamps. That's because we've saved you guys a lot of work. In here, you have 1 stamp, which is our leaf stamp. And I went ahead just with kind of an olive green, put it on a block, and I just stamped all over a piece of white cardstock, just with it like an olive green. And that's all I've done. Now, I do want to mention that second stamp is this one right here. This is a large stamp. Now, all of our stamps are photopolymer, which is the highest quality, best of the best, okay? So that's going to give you beautiful, crisp images. These are not going to yellow. These are not going to stretch out of shape. They're not going to dry up. They're absolutely top of the line. But notice this is all 1 stamp. And we did that for a reason, so that you can just stamp everything once, color them in, and then if you notice, the dies say that there's 2 dies, one separate die for that little leaf over there, and then one die right here that's going to line up and cut all of these images out for you. I am going to show you that, but it makes it super easy, really fast for you guys to do it. Okay. So, like I said, one stamp in green. I stamped everything. I just stamped a whole bunch of them. Create like a background pattern. All right. So you can actually use this as a pattern paper if you want. So Mr. Hunt, if you'll come over here, I showed you this in white, right? You can do it in white, but I'm going to add some color to it. I'm going to put, now this is the right side up right here. This is the top. This is where we're going to have a little pull tab here. We're going to lay this over the top. And here's a little tip. Whenever you have kind of a straight, longer, solid edge, put your die on an angle like that. And if you notice, I'm cutting. Let me tell you another little tip. These are all blades in here, so that's really sharp. You don't want to run your finger over that. But if you put that blade side down, it's going to save your plates from warping. The only time I ever cut with the blade side up is if I have a really intricate die, because we want more pressure on those blades. So while he cuts that, I'm going to go ahead and get my green cardstock here. So
Crash and burn.
crash and burn, Maverick. So here is the beautiful mechanism piece here, right? Here it is in white, here it is in green. But look at, we just took it up a notch. Isn't that awesome? I just love how that looks. It's really pretty. And then if I lay that on top of a lighter green, you can see it just really steps it up. I'm going to put this one aside because I don't need that white one anymore. So how do we build the mechanism? We have these 3 pieces. Now, I told you there's score lines. The first score line, you're going to fold up, just like so. Okay? That's your valley. So that creates a valley down. Now we need a mountain in the middle. And then we do another valley at the bottom. And that's it. That's all there is to that. Now, remember when I mentioned that on this piece, there's a little score line? That line right there is where we're going to place the edge of this piece right here.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and find my tape. And the only thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of tape right on the bottom of this piece. Okay. So I can lay this over here. I can apply my adhesive. I do like to use a really strong double-sided tape for this part. Okay. I'm going to push that through just like so. So I'm adhering this at the bottom. I'm going to line it up with, remember that little score line that's right there. Just line it up with that score line. And press it down. Let me make sure I got it straight. It's hard to do. I can't get my head over the top of it. I normally would put my head over, but you guys don't want to see my hair in the camera. And now look at how it slides.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's actually sliding up like this. See how that's lifting now?
Yeah.
Okay. And then our last piece, because this is actually going to lay down still just like so. Our last piece, which is right here, is going to go right on that little lift right there. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead again with my double-sided tape and just put it on in that one area. And I'm going to line this up. I am going to lift this up a little bit just so I can see exactly where it is, because I want to put it on that line and I want to center it just like so. Okay. And now it goes like this. And now I have a place to put all of my little characters and flowers and bugs and things like that. And so it's actually going to look like this now on my card. Okay. So the last thing that I have to do is decorate this and adhere it. But we're going to set this aside. We have the mechanism working. And we have those beautiful stamps. I promised somebody earlier that I was going to be doing a little bit of coloring tonight. So I already went ahead and I stamped that entire stamp on my cardstock. I've already colored in a couple just to get us started because we don't have that much time. But I'm kind of using a color scheme that has some of that green, pinks, and blues and yellows. So I am coloring with what we call an alcohol marker. I'm going to do the flower over here. Let me grab my alcohol markers here. And I like to color light to dark. So I like to start with my lightest color first. And when you're coloring with a marker, I do want to give a little instruction. You don't want to be coloring like with the very tip of it. You want to lean it over just a little bit and kind of color with the edge. And what I'm doing right now is actually called flicking with the marker. So you press it down and lift it up as you pull it towards you. So that's my first color.
Okay.
And then I go darker. And when I go a little bit darker, I don't go out as far. And just kind of pull it up over. And you can see how it kind of starts to shadow it just a little bit.
Seeing that dimension, right?
Yeah, it starts to come to life just a little bit. And then I'm going to go one color darker. I like to use a light, medium, and a dark. Now with this one, I do tend to get a little more detailed, just bringing some of those little bits in. But again, keeping that color minimal, and the closest color is tighter in toward the center of the flower. And then from here is where I will blend just a little bit, just pull a tiny little bit with that right from that darker color right on out.
Okay.
And just bring some of that in so that the colors blend together just a little bit.
It's amazing. It just pops right off the page immediately just by combining those kind of 3 different colors. It doesn't take much either. I mean, we just watched you do that right in front of us. Beautiful.
It's just minutes. I'm going to do one more little butterfly. If you see that little butterfly right there, I'm going to color this one up. I like little rainbow butterflies. This is not any particular butterfly. It's not like a monarch or anything. Not the way I'm coloring it anyway. So again, I'm just doing some flicks and I'm leaving some white in there at the tips.
Okay.
And just some little flicks. And I'm only doing around where like that veining is. And then I'm going to come in with a darker blue. And now I'm going to bring this just at the base, like close to the inside. And I'm going to do every other vein. And that's going to kind of leave some little highlights on some of the other ones. So just kind of every other one.
Yeah, those highlights really give it that dimension instead of coloring everything in all of the time, leaving a little bit of those white highlights. You can see how it pops. And with coloring too, Angie, it's just practice and it's doing it over and over again and just enjoying it and getting creative with it.
I think the biggest part with coloring is remembering it's just paper. And, you know, first of all, you can always start over if you don't like what you've done.
Right. Yes.
But you can always change it as well, which is really nice. So I'm just going to kind of go in and bring some little pink tips in there just to kind of have like some little bits. Now, this isn't the same as I did the others, but I wanted to get some, you know, it's as that one right there. But I am going to bring this pink right in here. And then I'm going to go in a little bit darker. And as you can see, the way that we design these, it comes together so easily. You'll also notice I'm moving my paper around instead of twisting my hand. That's a big thing to keep in mind when you're coloring as well. Don't try and, you know, twist your arm all over the place.
Too, just to remind everybody, what you're looking at right now is one of the 2 stamps. That stamp, that is one stamp that is all connected together, and I'm going to show you right here. And you also have the dies which match, so when you're going to cut those dies here as well. So it says on the top 2 dies. It's because die 1 is for the leaves that you see here, and then this is the stamp. And what you're looking at, Angie doing, is one of the stamps right here. This is Butterflies and Buds, $49.95. You see it on your screen right there. You can use the QR code. 3 flexible payments of $16.65. Remember, tonight only, for LDRS only, no matter how many items you pick up from LDRS tonight, you will only pay $7.50 in shipping. So tonight is your night. So after the coloring, after the stamping, now you see how that die lines up perfectly to get all of these perfectly cut out.
One die. It goes over every single image absolutely perfectly. Normally I would put all of those in.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to use them all on the card this time. I'm going to cut them out. They'll still be black and white. I'm still going to set them aside and maybe use them on a card in the future. So I'm going to hand that off to Alan. I do want to show you some of the things that I've already got prepped while he's cutting that. So I had already stamped and colored and die cut some of the leaves right here. So you see multiple little leaves here. I also have a bird, and this bird is from, can you guys, okay, it looks like we froze up for a moment there.
I can
the
see
bird
it. Yep.
is actually from, it's from the Birds and Buds, which is an add-on set to the Butterflies and Buds. So this one has birds in it, beautiful birds. So 2 of them are in flight. One of them is kind of, like standing and looking over his shoulder. They're absolutely delicate and gorgeous. We have different flowers in here that mix beautifully with the flowers from the Butterflies and Buds, and then a different leaf, and of course coordinating dies with that too. You can use each set on their own with the slider, or you can mix them, which is what I'm doing.
Okay, I see.
Okay, so look, all these pieces, look, they're already just falling. This is how good our dies are.
Yes,
Everything
right.
just, if it's not held in there by the tape, it's just falling right out of the die. That's how good our dies are. Everything just comes apart really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab just the pieces that I have color on, because those are the only ones that I need for this project. I did grab a couple of sentiments that I've already stamped and die cut. Those are actually, can I show this? Am I allowed to do this? Those are actually from our Billowing Peony crafting craft kit there. And those sentiments are in there. So you get so much stuff in this. It's amazing. One of my favorite sets again. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to decorate this in just a really sweet and beautiful way. So I've gone ahead and I've already got some foam on the back of this sentiment to pop this up. Beautiful sentiment right here. I'm going to put this little bird. Look how gorgeous. Already got that colored. Looks like he's landing right there on the sentiment. I love it when they go on the outside of the little your little frame. I think it's so pretty. And then I'm going to just kind of add some of these. Actually, I'm going to do it with some liquid adhesive. I think it'll be easier.
Angie, real quick, I want to give everybody the item number of the Billowing Peony 3D Crafting Suite there. It is 886959, because we just showed that, and it is $7.50 ship your card of all LDRS tonight. Putting that in their card at $59.95. So if you're watching with us at home and you're following along at hsn.com and you are clicking along, here's your item number for the Billowing Peony 3D Crafting Suite, 886959. I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. And the QR code and the item number you see on your screen is kind of the second item that we've moved on here, but we're using it in concert with kind of the first item. That's the Birds and Buds that we're also using with the Butterflies and Buds. Again, it's 2 stamps and 2 coordinating dies that you're seeing. That's the item number you see on your screen, as you say right there. And a shout out to everybody. Wanda is joining us from Columbus, Ohio. Marjorie from Pennsylvania. Hello, Marjorie. Trish from Boston. Angela from Oklahoma. Julie from Nebraska. Jane from Ohio. Cheryl from Illinois joining us. And I just looked, my wife and son are watching as well. My son is coming. Yeah, so my son is very creative. He's more of a digital design guy, but his mom is very creative, crafter and maker as well. So they are tuned in and they are watching. So hi guys, thanks for jumping in with us. Well, fun.
Thank you for joining us. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so here, let me show you this. So I've added just a little bit of foam to the back of a couple of these flowers. I'm going to put this little butterfly up here too. And I'm going to kind of put it right over here. You know what? I think I have too much of the foam on there. I don't want that to get stuck. So let me pull some of that off.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to put this little butterfly like right up here. So it looks like he's going to land. And it's just so, so pretty. Now, the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to put some foam on these edges. And the reason I want foam is because I want to create a little space behind this where I can hide a special little note. So I'm just going to trim this down and put this right alongside of the little mechanism that's going to be moving.
Okay.
Okay. That's going to give me a little bit of lift, and you'll understand why in just a moment. I promise you it's going to make sense. We're just going to lift it up a tiny little bit, and then I'm going to do some at the bottom as well. Just a little bit. This is how we get a lot of dimension on cards with foam. And don't be afraid to trim your foam down either.
All right.
All right. So here we go. You can see how quickly that comes. Oh, how quickly it flies out of my hand. This is live crafting, folks.
Yes.
This is what happens, right? Now, I'm putting this down on a piece of cardstock. If you want to put this down on a card base instead, you can do that as well. But by adding that little bit of foam, this is going to slide that much easier. Okay. Now I have a space on the inside where I can put another sentiment just with a little bit of adhesive. I'm going to slide this back, put a little sentiment right there. So I have a little surprise. Now, if you want to have a little surprise that's like maybe, I don't know, some cash or something like that you want to give as a present.
That's a nice surprise.
You can certainly do that too.
But because
flower in here.
Back there, I see you're giving yourself a little bit of room to put something in there. Oh, that's really creative.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of space. And now I can slide this, and look how beautiful that is as it lifts up and down. So this slides all the way up. And look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous?
Angie, that.
So now it says, thankful to have you in my life. You are so very wonderful in every way. Yay.
Set that out right. It stands up on a shelf on your desk. Maybe it's a desk at work. Maybe it's a desk at home. Look, and the interactive nature of it, you really make it simple. And when we come back to me, I did want to show that that instruction. You said it was only one sheet because it really is that simple. Here, I'll hold it in right here. But this is the instruction that we just saw Angie go through how easy this is. On the other side are the finished products. That's what's there, is kind of show you how to slide the slider. But that is it. Those are the steps that we just watched Angie do to get that like three-dimensional, to get that depth, to get that interactive card, that slider that you can actually put a little something in there, another message inside. That's the set. So we kind of used two sets there. I'm going to move this out of the way to kind of show you. We both the butterfly and bud set that had what we're calling two stamps, because there's one stamp kind of solo up here, and this is one stamp as well, all of these, with the matching die. And then we also had the birds and buds as well. Birds and buds is the item number you're seeing right there on your screen, 886-963. You just make it easy. You make something that looks so impressive and so lovely, and giving us that stamp where you can kind of make your custom backdrop in your custom kind of cardstock that you want was really beautiful. Really nice touch there. And then that is it. If you're ordering right now, you're going to get this in your order, and that is how simple. Such an impressive card, Angie. You really make it simple for us.
Thank you. You know, the whole goal is to make it kind of a 1, 2, 3. And look how pretty that is. They're so fun. What's really cool too is we've created this little tab right here. It actually has a little flower imprinted on it, which I'm not sure you can see. But this will actually fold all the way down flat, and it goes right into an envelope so you can mail it too. So it's just perfect, and it's an A2 size, and we continue that little scallop. So always thinking about all of our designs to make sure that they are, everything is just super easy for you and everything lines up beautifully. So, you know what? I almost forgot. I wanted to show you. Do I have a moment to show some more cards?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So here's another example. This one is actually with just the birds, and you can see it functions the same way. Beautiful rainbow of birds here. This one, we've got just the flowers. We've added a little take care and get well soon. Again, some more of the gorgeous birds. Now, what if you wanted to add in something kind of sparkly? Because we all love our glitter. Look how pretty that is. This one is the birds and buds. And then this one, of course, look at that. That is like a cool.
Oh, wow.
So,
oh.
And I really wanted to show these too, because you don't always have to use the mechanism. This one is a little shaker.
All right.
So we've also got some more in, let's see, here's some more. Look at this one. Beautiful, bright spring summery colors, again, with some shimmer, with all that gorgeous glitter. All that glitters is gold. Look at this one with those beautiful pinks and purples. So, so pretty. We've also got some examples. Let me show you. I want to show you a couple of these because I love these. Look at that, with all like that whole rainbow of flowers. So again, you don't always have to use the slider. So the stamps and the dies can be used on their own and mixed and matched as well. Look at that, how cool that is.
Look at that. Oh, the coloring on that is great. I'm looking at our comments here, and I just saw someone say she received, hold on, these comments are going so quickly here. I'm going to find it here. Suzette said, hi, Angie. I received the board yesterday, and wow, it is just beautiful. Thank you guys for jumping in here. Pat is joining us. Ashley is joining us. Ashley says, very unique creativity. It is, and that's what we love about it. It is in her personal. See, I love the little surprise in there.
I know. Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
I just love these. This one is like a whole rainbow just of butterflies. And watch this one. I mean, and seriously, when you pop that up on foam, you could seriously put money in there, or a gift card. You could use it for a gift card as well.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Okay. Shall we move over to the next kit?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
And I just want to remind everybody, as we do, thank you guys for joining us here, whether you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on YouTube. Send us your questions or just say hello. Let us know where you're joining us from. I'm Ty Mayberry. Maybe you haven't shopped with me before or done HSN Gets Crafty with me. I fill in for Suzanne when she's not here. But right now, the special thing that we're doing tonight with LDRS tonight is $7.50 is the most you'll spend on shipping, no matter how many items from LDRS that you put in your shopping bag, shopping cart tonight. So if you're shopping along with us, if you're watching our Facebook Live tonight, follow along at hsn.com. You see something you love, click it, put it in the cart. Once you reach $7.50 shipping, you won't pay anymore. Now, you'll see that once you get to the checkout. So maybe while you're clicking, that shipping is still there. Once you go to the checkout before you pay, you will see that shipping cost drop down to $7.50, just something kind of special that we're doing tonight. We are going to move on to something that I think, Angie, a lot of us, we love watercolor, love the look, but maybe we're a little intimidated by watercolor. We're like, I don't think it's for me. I'm not sure I have the skill for watercolor. But from what I understand, this set makes that watercolor easy, allows us to be able to do that. And we're going to put the item number on this side. We're going to put the QR code and item number right up here. This is the Watercolor Effects Floral Stamp Set at $29.95 here. And I think we all love that watercolor look, but as I said, Angie, it can be intimidating.
Oh, absolutely. I am a watercolor artist at heart, my favorite thing. So this was really kind of like my baby when we were putting this together. I wanted to make sure that we could make it super easy for anybody with any skill level whatsoever. If you've never even used watercolors before, you can do this. That's how easy this is. And who doesn't love a garden? Who doesn't love flowers? You can do a rainbow of colors with this, and it's super, super easy. So in this kit, you see 2 stamp sets here, and you get both of these in your kit. So you get this large 6x8 stamp set, and you get the 4x6. You're going to get all kinds of different little pots, and like there's like a little bottle here, like a vase, if you will, to put your flowers in and create these little scenes. You also get this beautiful kind of butcher block. You get your sentiments in here. Now you're going to see color in here because these are already used. These are mine. These are the ones that I play with. And then on the back of the packaging, we're so good about giving you a lot of detail. So we show you which of the stamps you need to create. Like, for example, to create this little flower right here, this little, I don't know, little bushel or whatever you want to call it of flowers. You need this stamp right here that looks like tall grass, plus you need the little floral stamp in this shape, and this is what you're going to get. So we step you through what your equations are to create all the different pieces. And then you're going to be able to, and I am going to show you this, but you're going to be able to create things like this. Look how cool that is. And it looks like no line watercoloring.
Expert watercolor painting, right? It looks like expert
Doesn't
watercolor painting. Beautiful.
They're so fun. Now this one is, you can create different looks with it. So this one, I didn't use a ton of water. This one is a much more loose and kind of free form with the watercolor. So we've got more water in here. It disperses even more on the paper. It gives you a completely different look, as does this one here. Here we're using the pots. Here we're using the glass bottles. This one is just like a wildflower, in the meadow where we just kind of photographed it and we added one of our beautiful sentiments to it. So you can do some really gorgeous things like this one here. And here we've got that beautiful kind of butcher block where we've set the glass on there. So I'm going to show you how easy this is to do. And you're going to, I think I'm going to kind of blow your mind. I'm just saying. All right. So let me see if I can find where I have put my stuffs. All right. So the number one thing you're going to need is watercolor paper. So this is a little piece of watercolor paper. I've already gone ahead and I've die cut it ahead of time just to kind of save us some time. And I'm going to get started. Now you can do this very easily with just acrylic blocks. You don't need a stamping platform for this because it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. You don't have to worry about stamping a second time to have everything be perfect. Anna, will you do me a favor and give me kind of a little wide shot here so I can show everybody what I've got? All right, so here you can see my whole glass board here. I've got a little bit of water, just a tiny little bit, a couple of small little, paint brushes. I've got 2 acrylic blocks. You don't need 2, 1 is fine. And I'm actually not even using paints. These are just dye inks. So go to your inks, grab some dye inks in a variety of colors, whatever you want to use, and a little bit of watercolor paper, and that's all you need. Let's go ahead and zoom back in again. And I'm going to get started with this pot right here. So I'm going to show you on the instructions. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 stamps to create this larger pot right here. So I need that one that has the outline, which is right here. So I just go to my stamps. I'm going to grab that one. And I'm going to do my little pot here in like some grays, a couple of gray colors. So I'm just going to ink that up. And I am going to stamp this kind of save a little bit of room at the bottom for a sentiment. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's my one stamp.
Okay.
Now I go to the next stamp, which is right here on my little sheet. It shows me the next one right here. And I'm going to go in with a slightly lighter gray. And I just stamp right inside what I just did. It doesn't even matter if it goes outside the lines a little bit. Now, you may not be able to see that because it's a little bit light and it's very bright in here with the lights. But when I go to the next one, my next color, I'm going to go really light again. And I like to combine colors. So now I'm going to go back to that kind of medium gray and I'm going to stamp over it. And I'm going to hope, because I can't put my head over the top, because you don't want to see my head in the camera. I'm going to hope I got that on there right. And even if I didn't, it's super fine. So now, because that is a dye ink, I have, oops, I got color in my, let me clean off my brush. Okay, so I come in with my water and I'm going to start moving that paint around ever so slightly. I apparently had a little bit of brown on my brush, but that's okay. It's just going to look like it got a little bit of color.
You can
in
already see it taking shape. Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of softens those edges ever so slightly. All I'm doing is putting a little bit of water over it. So, and that little bit of brown, that could just be a little bit of rust, maybe even just from being out you know, out on the deck or something. So we're going to let that dry, and I'm going to move on to the next one. So I'm going to grab these little bits of green here, leafy green. I'm going to ink that up and come right up over the top. Look how cool that looks.
Yeah, that's great.
It really starts to look like it's like that's just kind of like growing out of that pot. So I've gone ahead. I happen to know which little, you know, ones I need to grab here, but all you have to do is look at your the back of your packaging.
Sheet. Yeah.
Yep. So don't worry if you don't get a perfect stamp. And you know why? I'm going to come in, I'm going to grab my water here so you guys can see it. I'm going to dip into my water a little bit. Now watch what happens as I hit each of these with a little bit of water. See how they just start to kind of muddle up a little bit? They get a little bit brighter. Look how fun that is.
Just a gentle brush of water. I love that. Now,
just a tiny, tiny little bit. I'm even going to take that on these little stems right here, and it's just going to kind of brighten them up and fill in just a tiny little bit. And look how that looks, just that little bit already.
Yes.
Now, we're not done yet. We have a little ways to go. This is so much fun because you can change it up every single time. Right. Now, one of the things I wanted to grab was this one right here.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to show you what this is on the little instructions. So my instructions tell me I use this one here, 2 and 3. This one gives me that little bit of a stripe. Now, this is the color of the cardstock that I chose, which is kind of a bluish color. So I'm going to use the same kind of a color that you see in the package here. I'm going to pull that same color right here. This should be dry already because I didn't use too much water. And I'm just going to ink this up, and I'm going to give a little bit of a stripe right across that pot and decorate it.
Oh, magical. Look at what you just created. The fact, Angie, I love the fact that all of these are individual pieces. It does give depth to it. It gives character. So even if you do offset it a little bit, or maybe the colors run a little bit more of that kind of watercolor look, but that depth, you can see the depth in these designs because they are individual pieces, and it gives you so many options.
Oh, yeah. And it really doesn't matter if it's perfect or not.
Right. That's
you know,
my kind of
something
crafting.
to consider too is, nature isn't perfect. Look at this one. I love this one. This one is just kind of like if you want to have green growing outside, you know, down the side of that pot.
Right.
Look how pretty that is.
Oh, that's great.
Now watch, if I can leave it as it is, or I can take a little bit of water, loosen up those lines a little bit. Okay, kind of the water helps you to color them in. So it fills them in, makes them brighter. It's just a tiny little bit of, and you can't even tell that it was just stamped. It looks like it was hand painted on there.
About watercolor is that, you can see almost the hand of the artist in watercoloring because no two are going to be just alike because of the nature of that. And that's beautiful. In the gardening world, that's what we call a thriller and a spiller. It's a thriller in the pot and a spiller over the top of the pot. You're getting them both right here. Pat has a question. Is one of the stamps an old fish and milk? Also the size of the pot.
Yes, it is. Right here. It's like an old milk jug kind of thing.
Good eye, Pat.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that gorgeous? It's right here.
I think Darian is also asking, what kind of brush is being used, if you don't mind, Angie?
Well, they're just little watercolor brushes. This one I've actually used so much that I've rubbed off what it says, but I think it was a number 0.
Okay.
This one is a 0 as well. This one is a 0. So, well, they're different brushes too. So, but this is a 0. Usually I use a 0 or a 1. This one is a Royal Crafters. And like I said, this one, I have used it so much, I've rubbed off what it is. That's how you know you like to,
That's how you know it's a good
like
one.
the craft.
Stephanie says,
Yes.
spring is calling me with this set. Myrna says, what I like about this set is that you get a lot. Yeah, for $29.95, the amount that you get, the creativity, the versatility that you get on it, and that watercolor look, which most of us just love that look, but have been a little intimidated to try it ourselves. You just make it easy for us. And look how creative you're getting with all of the layering.
And here's something I'll show you too. So this one right here, this leafy pattern, this is one of my favorite ones because I can use that entire leaf or I can use bits. So right now, all I'm doing is inking up that end of it right there, those last 2 leaves. And I'm going to stamp 2 of them right here just to fill in. Oops, wrong side. And then the other 2, I'm going to kind of do like right over here, just to kind of fill in with them, because now I want more hanging over that pot.
Now that would be called a thriller, a filler, and a spiller. Now you're getting all 3 in there.
I love it. Okay, so how about we give this a little bit more color? And I promise I'm going to be wrapping this up soon. This is one of those things that I can like keep going on and on and on and on.
Yes, I can
What did I
see.
do with
I
the
can
other
see how
stamp
fun
set?
this would
It's
be.
right here.
Right.
All right, here's the other stamp set. Actually, do I need it? No, I'm going to use these over here. I'm going to add some purple. I got a little bit of green there, but I'm going to go over that with the color too. So these are like they look like little grapes. All right. And those are like right here. All right. I'm going to use them by themselves just to add some color. Because one of my goals was to really kind of show you guys how you can use this to do different, think outside the box. How can you use this? How can you use these things in a way that we haven't shown you on the packaging?
Right.
Okay. We've added some purple. Now I'm going to use the other one on the other side, just ink up that other one. And I'm going to bring some purple kind of going out in that direction as well. Look how cool.
Yeah.
It's just filling up that pot. And now I'm just going to ink the little bottom of it here and just kind of go right in that center just to fill in a little bit more. So really think outside the box, how you can play with it, how you can have fun. So I'm going to add a couple more. This is why I wanted this one right over here. I'm going to do a couple of these little flowers. So these little flowers that I'm grabbing right now actually will make this little bouquet, but I'm only going to use those two flowers right there instead of using the stems. And I'm going to go in with maybe, let's see, what colors do I want to use? I'm going to use kind of this bluish color. We're going to kind of mimic what's down here a bit with one of them. And then I'm going to do purple next to it.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Actually, I'm going to do it over here so I don't have that purple and blue right next to each other. Over here, I'll just stamp those. Look how cool that looks.
Yes. Look what you just
And
created.
then
amazing.
Add a little bit of water and it just loosens it up. Just a tiny little bit of water on my brush. Loosens it up so it doesn't look like lines anymore. And now I'm going to reverse my color. So I'm going to do, actually I'm doing the same thing. So blue on that side and then purple on this side.
Okay.
And we're going to go right here and cover up what I accidentally stamped over there in some green. And it just kind of fills it up.
Again, on your screen, I want to point out to everybody, you see your QR code. You also see your item number or hsn.com. But $20.95 for the number of combinations, the amount of kind of creativity you get out of stamps, and then to get that watercolor effect, $29.95, everything that you're getting here. And then even the sheet that kind of tells you the combination, everything you put together. But as you see, Angie's kind of thought outside the box. We kind of followed it for a little while, and we said, well, we're going to add our own. We're going to make it a little fuller that we want. $29.95. Myrna says, I'm sold. Cynthia says, gorgeous set. Love the versatility. Joanne says, I love that the instruction sheet shows what they all look like. Oh yeah, Ashley says, oh yes, I'm a floral fanatic. So thank you guys so much for joining us here. Oh, and there's your sentiment. That's stunning.
There's my sentiment.
That's gorgeous, Angie.
Now we're almost done. So if you remember, the one, remember I told you this was my favorite stamp right here? That one right there, because you can use those two little leaves separately. I took that in that same blue, and I stamped it just all around the edge to create a little bit of a frame. And now we're going to call that our topper. That's going to go on top of my card base. Just like so. Make sure I have it going in the right direction. Always make sure it's in the right direction, because I always get it wrong. All right. Now I am going to put some foam on the back of this one, because I like dimensional cards.
Yes. I love all the extra tips and tricks that we get here. When we get to do these Facebook Lives, we get all these extra tips and tricks.
Yeah, it's real crafting. It's just so much fun. And teaching is my favorite thing to do when it comes to crafting.
Yeah.
So there's that. Here's my card.
Hey, Angie.
And I'm going to do this flat. Yes.
Real quick, we have a question. Cynthia is asking, is this on watercolor card?
Paper.
Yeah, on the paper.
This part is.
Okay.
This part that is on watercolor paper. You want to use watercolor paper for the stamping of your little floral pieces, because you want to be able to move that paint on the watercolor paper.
Okay, great. Thank you for your question, Cynthia.
How's that?
Oh, with the framing and the dimension of that. It's a work of art that we just watched you create with this set.
Yeah, it's just so fun. You just have to look at your stamps, play with them, and just kind of, look at, my suggestion always is going to be, start with what we give you on the back. Play with that, okay? Do things like, here's right here. That's that little bouquet right there. It's coming up out of the bottle, all right? So play with that. See what you can do with this pot that's right here, right? There's a pot right here. And we give you all of the layers. Play with all of those. With this one, so here I used a paintbrush to put a little bit of water in each of those. This one, we spritzed with water. We inked everything and then spritz it with water, and it just moves even more and gives you a completely different effect. Here's one, we did that same effect where we spritz it, and then we just added some background texture. So my suggestion would be, do these kinds of things first. And look, we've even mixed that little pot with the bottle.
Yeah, yeah.
Here we've used the stamps and just created a background. But as I was saying, play with these, create exactly what we have on here, get used to it, and then go off and see what else you can do. And you're going to come up with beautiful things like this too.
Getting so much, so many combinations, $29.95. You see the item number on your screen, 867-835. Use the HSN app or hsn.com. Look at that. Yes, 49 stamps.
49 stamps.
It's a huge set.
It's crazy.
This is great. And to give you that look that I know a lot of us can't achieve on our own, that we love, and you're giving us that look with just a little touch of water. The combinations here is so fun. Yeah.
Okay. I just looked up and saw that this is only $29.95. Just a little tidbit of information. A 6x8 stamp set like this normally is $27.
Yes.
And then it's another $16.50 for the 4x6.
Wow. Right.
Okay. So think about that.
Right. This is, yes, right. We're here.
This is a massive deal.
We normally do this for $44.95 here. You're getting 40% off right now. 40% off for tuning into our Facebook Live right now. So $29.95. And I want to remind you, $7.50 is all you're going to pay in shipping, no matter how many LDRS items you choose tonight. So fill up your cart, get these, have some fun, jump into watercoloring, jump into all this combination and those layers. I love to think that we just started with that outline of that pot, and the one that we're looking at right there.
I know.
We just started with a little outline of the pot, and look what we created.
I know, it's just gorgeous. And look at that with all these, like, you know, this is another thing too. This card that I just created is in all these beautiful spring colors, right? Because spring's on its way. You could do it in, you know, even deeper, you know, like more vibrant, brighter colors for summer. But this one that we did here, this is in fall. So keep in mind too, this watercolor effects floral set is for all year long.
Right.
If you want to do these even in Christmas colors, you can do a beautiful Christmas card. This is for every crafting that you want. All you have to do is change up your sentiments for different events. You can use these for baby showers. Just a little note to, you know, to your girlfriend, say, hey, let's grab some lunch. You can make birthday cards. You could do just about any kind of a card with these. I love
Yeah,
them.
Barbara here says,
season.
Barbara says, watching from New Jersey, looking for easy craft for beginners. How about this? I mean, this doesn't look like it was easy. It doesn't look like a beginner, but you just watched and saw how we put this together here, and you do make it easy for us, and it's stunning. We have to wrap up here real quickly. Angie, can I ask you something very quickly here? How do you get that shading at the bottom? How would I do that? The shading at the bottom of some of those cards where those pots were. How did you do that? That's really beautiful.
That is actually quick. You want me to show you real quick?
We've got like 1 minute, or two minutes here. If you don't mind,
I'm going to show you really quick.
So much dimension.
Alan, go back overhead. Go back overhead. I'm going to show you really quick. Okay. A little bit of ink.
Okay.
A little bit of water.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to move this over a little more water. And I'm just going to kind of go like this.
And that's it? Oh.
It grounds it.
Love it. Yes, it
just
grounds it.
A little bit of water.
Right. Love it.
So now it looks like it's sitting on something. Right, go back to the front, Alan.
Shadow. Fantastic.
Yeah,
thank you for that, Angie.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's those little details, right? It's those little things sometimes that really make it stand out and pop. This hour just flew by. Thank you all for joining us here. Angie, thank you so much for joining us here.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure.
I do want to say, too, I love being on with you live when you're here in the studio. We have such a good time. I loved our crafting days, and I know everybody watching loves it.
I
hope
too.
You guys can tell how much Angie and I love to be on together and hang out. So thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Angie. Good to see you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys for joining me. Thanks for letting me hang out here. Thank you to Suzanne for letting me jump in. Thanks to DeWitt hanging out here with all of us here. Remember tonight, LDRS, $7.50. Fill your cart. $7.50 shipping. Fill your cart. Fill your shopping bag, no matter how many LDRS items you put in there tonight. The $7.50 is all you'll pay in your shipping cost there. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, Myrna and Kathy, and thank you everybody, Ashley, Barbara. It's so fun to see you guys, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.